So, and yeah, my way of navigating through this has been really to actually focus in on that and apply myself 110% to the projects that I'm working, the work that I'm doing that uh, I'm that I feel like is part of the solution,
Yeah.
part of the antidote to this poison. So just going full bore into the positive um, work that I know how to do, that I can think of, that is most helpful in this moment, is what's giving me that daily sense of purpose and possibility and hope and lightness.
Hey there, music lovers. Welcome to Why Music Matters, a podcast where we examine the power and influence that music can wield in our lives. I'm your host, Jeff Miers. Today's episode is a very meaningful one for me because it features a musician, poet, activist, and independent music icon whose life's work was an inspiration for the creation of this podcast.
Between first sleep and second sleep, I stare into the dark, and I can feel there are two of me. So I put on both on the ark.
If anyone can stand as a representative of why music matters, it's Ani DiFranco. Over the course of nearly 35 years and the release of 23 albums, Ani has carved a path that is wholly her own. A dyed-in-the-wool independent artist, Ani's never taken the knee, steadfastly refusing to follow trends or bend to the will of self-appointed tastemakers and music industry gatekeepers, all while crafting a body of work that speaks truth to power, spits fire, and embraces the beauty found in simplicity, all in equal measure. When I spoke with Ani, she was enjoying a brief break in her current tour, supporting her brilliant, groundbreaking newest album, Unprecedented Shit. We talked about the new record, about the disturbingly strident march toward authoritarianism in this country and around the world, about the importance of, in Ani's words, showing up for the job at hand, and about music's unerring ability to speak to what is good and true in all of us. It's an absolute honor to welcome Ani DiFranco to Why Music Matters.
And I can feel there are two of me. So I put on both on the ark.
Hey.
Honey,
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. I love your space there.
Yes,
Cool background.
the bunker.
Bunker.
This is my little studio. You know how important that can be for mental health.
Yeah, totally. I can see your sound dampening there on the left.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's humble, but it works.
Amen.
Amen. So wow. Unprecedented shit indeed.
Yeah, right. Every fucking day. Congratulations, us. Show us what we've won. Yeah.
I don't know. We still have the right to make music, I guess.
Yeah, right. The right to remain silent and the right to not. That's about it. Yeah.
Well, not to go dark immediately.
Yeah. So fuck it.
Fuck it. Well, good talking to you.
Nothing matters anymore. Why even, let's.
Or is it, maybe it matters more. I don't know. Let's go with that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Um, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, interesting time to be on the road in Europe in June of 2025. Can you can you talk about what that experience was like, and does it feel different than maybe it did? You haven't been in Europe in a while.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was great. And, it felt, it felt important in some way, or healing, life affirming, I think, for everybody in the room, at those Europe shows, just because I mean, I feel like, we have social media now, so people across the Atlantic can see and know that not all Americans are crazy, right-wing extremist, fascist haters.
Yeah,
But
only 30%.
yeah, but I still feel like it was really good just to see one in person, and
Yeah,
to be in the room together, and sharing, you know, the fear and the rage and the feeling of helplessness and the feeling of urgency and all of the things together, it just makes it more real.
yeah,
Like anything, when you're really in the room together. So I felt like it was a bonding, and, I mean, I hate to put too much on it, but we do kind of experience things that way as animals. It's, we, on some level are making symbols of each other,
yeah,
not just so, just the fact that there was an American there with them, um, sharing their perspective that this is really messed up, and it's really dangerous, not just for America, but
the
for the
world.
world. I
Yeah,
mean, there's fascist movements happening in Europe, everywhere. I mean, they're getting 20% of the vote in Germany, you
this
know,
one. Yeah,
of all places. And people are rightfully concerned everywhere, because, the shit is contagious.
yeah,
So, yeah, so it felt really good to just be there and trying to ground, with my fellow humans.
yeah. And I mean, it underscores kind of what you've always been about, I think. I mean, it's just underlining
Yeah.
things you've said since I met you, you know?
Right. Yeah, totally. You're exactly right. The work of, yeah, it's just another extension and era of the work of, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We're not alone. We're not crazy. We have power. There is hope.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hope, I guess, how important one, but also how um, difficult is it now to balance your shows, for me, and this is subjective because what else can I be? But
Yeah, right.
um, we're always about balancing this rage, and a righteous rage, an informed rage against, like, you know, trying to embrace light and create an atmosphere of joyfulness too, um, is that balance, which I think you've always been able to achieve in your work. Is it trickier now? Is it more important?
Um, yeah, trickier, totally. It's like, it's hard not to get into that cycle of feeling guilty
Yeah.
for ever feeling happy yet, or focusing on something close and good and simple, but I guess for myself and my strategy in this circumstance is to go harder in that direction of owning and affirming this world of simple beauty and goodness, and just banish the guilt for experiencing what is more real than these nightmares that they are creating in their minds and imposing on all of us. That is the illusion.
Yeah.
And what is real is that we're surrounded by loving, kind presence of consciousness in all its forms, including humans, all around you right now, ready to make friends, ready to make family. So, and yeah, my way of navigating through this has been really to actually focus in on that and apply myself 110% to the projects that I'm working, the work that I'm doing, that I'm that I feel like is part of the solution.
Yeah.
Part of the antidote to this poison. So just going full bore into the positive work that I know how to do, that I can think of, that is most helpful in this moment, is what's giving me that daily sense of purpose and possibility and hope and lightness.
It's a beautiful answer. um, it seemed like the record, maybe one thematic element is the idea of showing up. You forgot to speak comes to mind, but the idea of being there, embracing the moment, sometimes through work, as you mentioned, it seems to be, at least that's what I took from it. Again, subjectivity is unavoidable, but that's inspiring. And I'm wondering if you're feeling at all that any, silver lining, so to speak, from our descent into rampant authoritarianism is that maybe people will remember to speak. Are you starting to see that? I mean, I feel like even here in Buffalo, I was really proud to see this community show up, for protests in large numbers, whether that meant no kings or whether it meant reminding our Canadian brothers and sisters that we are still their brothers and sisters. There's some inspiration and sense of hope in that. And do you feel that people are starting to show up maybe a little bit?
Yeah. Yep. Desperation.
Yeah.
Breeds action. And that is so important. And Lordy knows, I hope that can be a result of all that came with the last election. But, I was in Europe on No King's Day, and it was such a beautiful and necessary showing all over the country. Showing up, like you're saying, and but in the forefront of my mind is also, where were these millions on voting day? Where were you? We would not need to take to the streets and defend, people, families, workers, each other from Gestapo kidnappings, I mean, it's etc. ad infinitum. Like, we had the opportunity to stop this in its tracks and we didn't take it. And it keeps happening.
Yeah.
So yes, I think there's a lot of, you are correct. There's a lot of meditations on the new record or about showing up.
Yeah.
And for me, voting has always been on the top of that list because it's our superpower.
Yeah. It's the only one.
That is it. That is what democracy is made of. And if you don't use that muscle, it atrophies and your democracy goes away. It's just right there in front of us year after year. And this devolution of our democracy starts there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I was going to go somewhere and I can't remember.
I think you went there, but am I correct to interpret that you forgot to speak? It was dealing with this, like you didn't show up when we could have.
Yeah,
it's in part.
Yeah, that song comes from a lot of places, which is all the same place, which is relinquishing your own voice and the power of it. Self-sabotage, which can come in so many forms. On some level, it's a song about myself and my life as and socialization and patterning as a female.
Yeah.
Or to just freeze and fawn and be passive in a moment. I mean, that's what drove me into songwriting.
Yeah.
And still drives me, is to say all the shit that I seem to never be able to just stop in a moment and say and put out there and assert myself or my alternate perspective and the situation or my feeling about what is happening or somebody else is saying or doing, so in a sense, it's like, to me, that song exists on many levels, like so many things that I write. I think that's why I write, because something is resonating through me in so many ways. But yes, absolutely. These days when I sing You Forgot to Speak on stage, I'm very much thinking about all those people who couldn't be bothered to vote. I think that, I know where I was going a minute ago is, I think perhaps our bigger issue here in our country right now is not the percentage of us that are on board with extreme right-wing politics and social policies, but the whole of the rest of us, the whole of, caring, thoughtful, informed, educated majority that has gotten into this, which has bought into this idea of voting as self-expression or self-branding. This idea, I think so many people on the left did not show up and vote for Kamala because she wasn't progressive enough or didn't align well enough on certain important issues. And I get that, right? I have never, I believe in my life,
never found one person who did that.
I mean, seriously, I've never in my life I don't believe, had the opportunity to vote for somebody as progressive as I am. I don't think that's ever happened. But I do it not to show my brand and perform my, my progressiveness or my virtue to the world or something. I do it as in service to others. And it's humbling, and it's sometimes it's not enjoyable necessarily, but for me, the less gratifying and enjoyable your experience of showing up and voting every fucking time is, the more you're doing the work. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for something bigger than you. And the lesser of the two evils, quote unquote, is life and death for somebody, if not yourself, somebody, and you couldn't, so can we not be motivated enough to take care of that person, even if you don't know them, even if you'll never meet them, instead of, I think this sort of culture of entitlement and self-absorption that we're stuck in. I think that will be our undoing before, fascism.
Yeah. Well, it certainly opened the door and welcomed the vampire across the threshold, Too busy navel gazing and looking for some imagined ideal of perfection that doesn't exist,
Amen.
Uh,
Yeah.
Not funny, but laughing.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Song title.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was beautifully put. And the last thing I want to ask about this to get your perspective on, do you have any kind of take or intuition or earned insight into what it is in people that made them want to embrace this idea of burn it down? Like, burn it down, fuck my neighbor. It's just still, and again, I think it's a position of somewhat privilege that this still shocks me, even though I saw it coming. I'm still shocked by it, and that does speak of some kind of, I've probably had it pretty good, because I think it doesn't shock a lot of people who've been living with this from the moment they popped out of the womb, But I'm wondering, do you understand at all the psychology that would?
Well, I mean, I guess what I tell myself and what I kind of need to believe is that it's just not quite enough information that people have, because I think everyone knows deeply and inherently that this shit is rigged.
Yeah.
That it's not fair, that the wealthy, at least, are running this and serving themselves. And then you can put all kinds of other identifiers of race and gender and etc.
Toxic patriarchy.
And everybody understands that this democracy is not wholly democratic, that there are many levels of truth to this shit being rigged. So I think that deep understanding in people, if it's not coupled with more nuanced and a lot of other layers of information, can lead to a whole host of responses, all of which are, I think, in their essence, responding to the same truth.
Yeah. Wow. It's very well put. Can we talk about the band on this tour?
Yeah, sure.
For me, you've always been funky. If you're playing alone, you're funky as hell. but this really seems to come to life with this. And again, I've only experienced this on YouTube. But, you know, for Royal Albert Hall show, this band is fire. And I mean, I know Todd's playing
Yeah.
for a long time, and it's always been that. But can you talk about, you know, these new textures and the drummer am I saying it? Is it Yaris? Is that the right way?
Jairus.
Jairus. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I know. He's got the most unique name.
It's super cool name.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Jairus, Todd, my brother Todd, you know, brother from another.
Yeah.
And Eric, who's the most recent addition, you know, to the
I
group.
love that color in your music.
Yeah, the pedal steel is
So
such
cool.
a great color in the mix. You know, everybody that's been coming to my shows over the years and that I talk to afterwards are like 10 thumbs up for, you know, what Eric is bringing. And so, yeah, I love this band, and we've been having a lot of fun playing together and going deeper over this whole year of, you know, we've been out there hitting it pretty hard behind this new record. And
Going to be a year by the time you're done, practically.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. This next run when I'm coming through Buffalo is kind of the last of the cycle. I finally got on board after 35 years in music of like, right, how about put out an album, then go out and support it, and then go home and rest.
Yes.
Actually, people had a good idea that I somehow managed to avoid in just kind of this random, constant gauntlet of endless touring. But at this point in my life, I see the wisdom of that, because the cycles of rest are
Important.
really important, and I'm finally there. So yeah, this is our last run at, you know, this new album and these new songs, and it's just been really fun working with this group to bring these songs to life in our own way on stage, because of course the album you know, is a product of a lot of BJ Burton's production and a lot of machine tomfoolery. So, you know, what you get on stage is a whole other version again, you know.
Somehow that the record sounds super organic despite all of that, you know?
Yeah, right.
Which is you.
I think he did carve out a big solid space in the center for the real organic and sometimes super simple and spare. This is the song, this is the voice, you know, he's got my voice like wham,
Right.
know?
Yeah. Headphones, you really get it, you know.
Yeah, right. And then sometimes it just expands to this sort of universe of BJ.
I love it, but it's you know.
Yeah, no, cool.
You got to take that credit. And live, these songs, you know, they breathe differently, right? I mean, you're still getting to know them in a way, right? Because I get the impression that they're revealing themselves in a different way, obviously, than in the studio.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, one of the things that BJ did, I mean, on the songs that aren't, you know, straight up solo or like voice and guitar, is he would turn the guitar into something else or take it away, or, you know, somebody was asking me about how the album opens with this cool, like burbly keyboards. And I was like, well, that's the guitar, actually, you know, just filtered by BJ. And so anyway, on stage, there's a lot of, and this is actually the guitar part.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we're really looking forward to you coming home. I know you have a couple homes, but this is one of them.
Yeah, no, it has been, I don't even know how many years. So I'm really looking
pre-pandemic, right? I hate to measure time in that, but
right.
Yeah, it's been
I'm wondering what, you know, what Buffalo is now. I know it's just been going through so many changes, and I mean, the last time I was there, which I seriously can't remember, I already was like, whoa, whoa, shit is changing in wonderful ways that I could see, influxes of immigrants and revitalization of the center city and all these things that are so wonderful.
And definitely, you will see that. And, what, just briefly, my take is that we're learning how to celebrate that that's who we are. I mean,
Oh,
that
amen.
immigrants,
Yeah,
this is who we are. This is our strength, right?
totally.
And I think we're like embracing it. And this gives me hope. I've lived here for 35, Jesus, years now. Um, and I think it's one of the first time, I mean, I felt in the 90s, around the time you were coming out of Nietzsche's and things were happening, underground arts and culture wise. But I feel that there's a through line from that to this now, to kind of owning our culture. And before you can own it, you have to acknowledge what it is and celebrate that fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's new for Buffalo. Also new for Buffalo is the venue you're playing.
Right. Yeah. Never been there.
I think you're going to think it's really cool.
Awesome.
Because I think it was done. I was real skeptical, but I think it was done without adversely affecting the environment in that area by the water.
Right.
It's beautiful, spacious, like use of waterfront Buffalo. Wow, imagine that without a highway in front of it.
Yeah, talk about recognizing your strength.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it all makes sense. But anyway, I think you'll really dig the vibe there. And this is a cliche, but we need you. We need to hear from you now, in person.
Sweet.
So,
well, super looking forward to it, Jeff.
yeah, me too. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, likewise. It's good to see you.
Always.
Will I see you out there on the waterfront?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, good.
You kidding me?
Great.
I'll be there. I'll come say hi.
Okay, great.
All right. Be well till then, right?
What's that?
Be well until then.
You too. All right, pal.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Today's episode of Why Music Matters is brought to you by 42 North Brewing Company. 42 North believes in listening locally and drinking locally. If you're out at a live music venue, ask for 42 North. And if you're a venue owner, you might want to think about adding 42 North to your lineup of taps. And maybe I'll see you out there at a gig. If so, maybe I'll buy you a 42 North Borderland or a Day Trucker. First one's on me.